All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another post-fight analysis video. I know some of y'all been waiting on this one, of course. I'm going to drop it. Definitely got to do one for this one. Possibly the biggest upset of the year. Might as well go ahead and say it, right? The co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. Man. Okay, so I can't feel too bad. Because I think everyone thought the champion was going to go in there and get her hand raised for the 8th time, and for good reason, right? For good reason. The champ, she's known for her dedication, discipline, and the challenger, even though she was on a win streak, like I said, she just never really showed that go get 'em to me. Never really showed that natural ability of like the killer instinct that I'm talking about. But there's a first time for everything. And I don't mind being wrong with this one. Like I said, look, if you prove me wrong, that means you're doing something right. And that means a fighter like Alexa Grasso, she's bringing some life to this division. And I like it. Man, because Alexa Grasso, she's improving as a fighter. And in this fight, she took it seriously. She took it seriously as the biggest fight of her life. She came in, showed the champion something she's never seen before. She showed Valentina every bit of what she possesses and then some. She was able to get the champ's respect. And that's a tough task, but she did that. She got under Valentina's under her skin as well. And also let Grasso know that what Grasso was doing was working. That's a big part of it, right? Valentina let Grasso know that Grasso was actually doing some effective work in there. Not just on the feet, but also on the ground. Grasso, very tricky on the feet in this fight. Landed some nice shots, but it was really that improved defense on the ground that really had me going. Like the defensive work on the ground, the jiu-jitsu, the way she secured the victory, all of that. Who would have thought it, man? Who would have really thought it? Some of y'all were rocking with Grasso. Y'all picked her. I kept asking y'all questions. What do y'all think? Some of y'all told me a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But really, I had to see it. I had to really see it. I said Shevchenko by submission, but nope. Grasso actually gets the rear naked choke in the 4th round to snag that belt. So shout out to Alexa Grasso. I was wrong on this pick. And like I said, it's not like a fanboy thing to me. I'm a fan of the fight game. I like to see different things happen. I like to see shocking things like this go down. The thing about this fight for me, after watching Grasso's style, I actually, was coming up with keys to victory for her. Studying her and Valentina for so long, I was just looking at the different things that Grasso could do with her particular style against somebody like Valentina, and she was actually able to execute some of those keys to victory, So I was looking at all of that. It's just the thing that really just made it hard for me to pick her was I didn't know if she was going to be able to execute this stuff. I didn't really know if she was going to go after it like that. Everything I'm picking is like if she has that killer instinct, if she really wants it, then Grasso can actually do certain things to Valentina, and she did it. Looking back at the fight, some of y'all asked me what I thought of the fight round by round, of course. And y'all know I like to go through it with y'all. So the first round, Grasso, she stayed on the outside. This is what I saw. I saw her use some nice little angles in the beginning, keeping her lead foot on the outside, because she was still in an orthodox stance here. She kept her lead foot on the outside of the southpaw and Shevchenko, right? And, she started attacking the calf a little bit. So did Valentina. But right away, it was her switch to southpaw that really made that outside work effective, and her attack was much more effective because I think Shevchenko saw it, and right away it kind of made her rethink and just register. It kind of made her reprogram on the fly. Like, okay, what am I going to do here? So she threw a few body kicks and landed some nice body kicks on Grasso, but Shevchenko wasn't ready for this. Because Grasso was actually keeping a good range and started using some nice feints. These nice little feints to make Shevchenko kind of rethink some things about stepping in. So Grasso, finding that nice range, landed a good straight left hand. Then again, she followed that left hand up again with the right hook. And then she landed another combination that buzzed Valentina. And you can see right on you can see right away that facial expression on Val. It was that feeling like, oh man, she clocked me a couple of times, and she actually stunned me a little bit. So she had to go on the back foot here. She had to go stay on the outside. Subtle footwork changes, those subtle footwork changes and good defense from Grasso was really getting her the win, getting her, giving her the edge in this round. Grasso even got a takedown. I mean, Val bounced back up, but that just shows you that Grasso was going after it. Val, she tried to get her takedown at the end of the round. And that right there, I noticed that Val, she at the end when the bell rung, she was kind of holding on to the head a little bit longer. I could see she was showing a little bit of frustration there, when she's holding on to Grasso's head, like, oh, you ain't getting away with this, right? But yeah, Grasso won that first round. The second round, Val, she came out with her nose bleeding, which I thought was a bad sign already. They didn't know how to handle that cut on the bridge of the nose. So, I think that definitely kind of gave Grasso some confidence. Like I said, if she ever gets outstruck, she's going to try to go in for the takedowns throughout the fight. And that's what she did in this round. She was able to get Grasso down, but Grasso was active off of her back, which I like. She was always squirming, still landing strikes. Defensive grappling was looking solid. Val, she wanted the side control, but Grasso, she did a good job of just squirming and, turning and just staying active. Val was just using her strength this round and actually a lot of lay and pray here. So Grasso was able to get back up. And as they got back up, landed another hard left hand. Throughout the round, Grasso missed a few shots. But I like how she was making Val kind of rethink herself, make Val go on the back foot. She did eat a good combination from Grasso, too, in this round, but Val got in another solid takedown, so I gave second round to Val. Third round, Grasso back to sliding in and out, backing Val up. I noticed that Valentina, she can't really change up her footwork. She's just kind of like stepping back. Like she never really changes the pace. It's always the same, where she's kind of flat-footed. She kind of stutter steps, and then she wants to launch a shot. So with her not being able to adjust her footwork, she's kind of taking the pop off her shots because it's really just bringing the same intensity, and it makes it predictable for Grasso. So Grasso ate a combination, but as the rounds went on, looking at the footwork, she's able to see the level drop of Valentina and deny her a takedown. So Grasso, again, just goes back to stalking. She's just going back to stalking. So Val uses that strength again to get another takedown, does a little lay and pray. Grasso actually, once again, active off the back and just kind of giving Val a hard time here in the third round. Val's not too impressive on the top here. So the referee, he wants to separate him. She's not really doing much, so he separates him because it's a championship fight. But I saw that look on Val's face, man. She tried to get that extra little shot in. I saw her get that little extra shot in because, she's trying to rough Grasso up here, and trying to sneak it in. But once he separates him, Val gets another takedown and gets Grasso's back. But Grasso had a nice transition to go for the guillotine. Like she had her back, but she was able to turn in as Val loosened up and try to go for the guillotine on Val. And that was letting you know right there something was coming. Something was coming. But Grasso had a good round, a good showing of herself. But even the third round had to give to Valentina because of the overall ground control in those those constant takedowns that she was scoring. But it was still looking very, very ugly for her at this point. Fourth round, Val seemed to be using her jab a little bit more here. She looked like she was getting into a rhythm, like she started to adjust. So at this point, I'm like, okay, she's starting to come alive now. Now she's making an adjustment. So she's keeping that jab in the face of Grasso. Grasso still stalking in and landing a couple of shots of her own. Grasso stuffed another takedown because, again, Valentina, she doesn't really have any other entryways. She's actually trying to shoot for ankles a couple times, dropping in, which was another sign of frustration to me. So Grasso, stuffs another one, looking more comfortable, moving her head, starting to use that footwork, to kind of baffle Val. Because there's a couple of times even in the first round where Valentina was waiting on Grasso to just shoot in so she could throw them hard shots. That's why she was throwing a lot of windmill kicks and, spinning back fists, because she wanted to land something big and try to knock Grasso out. But, Grasso wasn't having it. She was feinting and sliding in and out with her feet, which I thought was good work. But Grasso's head movement was pretty impressive in this fight and making it confusing for Val. So really, Valentina, all she could really depend on was the jab. So Grasso, again, just getting hit with the jab, she gets the entry and presses Val to the cage, looking strong here. She's pressing Val to the cage at this point. So finally, when she closes that range and they kind of separate again, Valentina measures wrong here and she tries for that spin kick. And as she spins in close, in range, there's no way that kick is going to touch Grasso. So, she just moves to her right a little bit at close range and boom, as soon as she spins, got the back. She got the back, locks in the RNC on Valentina. She's down and she's tightening it up with more than a minute left, more than a minute to go. And I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy right here because I've never seen Grasso do anything like this before except against JoJo. And who would have thought she would have did this to Valentina? I mean, as soon as that forearm went under, and Valentina's hands could not, she could not fight the wrist or hand fight at this point. I said with 30 seconds left to go, all Grasso has to do is keep tightening and tightening and tightening. And she did, man. She tightened that thing up. Valentina, I thought she was going to go out knowing the type of fighter she is, but she tapped, which she didn't want to do. And that was the end of the fight. Grasso gets the W, man. Rear naked choke, 4th round. Crazy win, man. I didn't see it going that way, honestly. Like I said, again, there was a lot of things I said Grasso needed to do. I didn't know she would execute it, but she did. Pure speed wasn't going to do it, in my opinion. The way she took her speed and made adjustments with her stance and translated her speed into the feints and the southpaw style is what really helped her out in this fight. So, yeah, good showing by Grasso. Excellent showing. That's what you got to do. And that's what I mean by studying. Like, some people get it wrong. Like, they misinterpret when I say study a fighter. No, when I'm saying study, you study to pass an exam, right? And that's what Grasso did. She studied Valentina. She watched what Valentina did right, did wrong in all of her fights. She watched the Tyler Santos fight and said, okay, if I take her to the ground, I got to be active. I got to land ground and pound, right? So that's what I mean by study. All right. Now, some of y'all was saying, oh, she studied, but you're going to still lose. Well, Grasso studied and passed the test. That's what you're doing. Because throughout your career, you build your skills and then you study a fighter and say, okay, I got the skills. Okay, let me see here. Well, if I'm not strong here, let me get stronger here. Okay, this fighter's not strong here. Well, let me expose that weakness. And that's what Grasso did, right? So let's give her credit. This wasn't a fluke win. She went in there, systematically beat Valentina on the feet and on the ground. It was still a competitive fight. Valentina still had a great chance to win the fight because going into the 4th round, if she would have probably kept the fight going on the feet, Valentina was out jabbing Grasso. She was out jabbing her, and she would have got a couple more takedowns. She probably could have won the 4th, and that would have gave Valentina 3 rounds, and then Grasso would have needed to finish in the 5th round, right? So it was still a competitive fight up to that point because it was 2-1 going into the 4th round. So let's be real, it was still a competitive fight, and Grasso was always game. Grasso was always game. And just really making Valentina have to fight in areas in such hard ways that she was never used to. Just all around good fight, good showing. Wasn't the knockout like just out of nowhere, wasn't this submission out of nowhere. It was all studied, all prepared for, all of that. Got to give her credit, man. Definitely a pick I picked wrong. And like I said, everybody pretty much felt the same way on this because we didn't know which Grasso was going to show up. And she showed up and showed out. So shout out to her. So, yeah, man, from here, I believe Valentina deserves an immediate rematch as the longtime champion. She deserves that. 7 title defenses leading up to this one. This would have been her 8th. So, yeah, she deserves a rematch. She's the longtime champion, pound-for-pound champion, right? She deserves that. Alexa Grasso, I'm sure she said she was willing to run it back. And I think the second time around, you might see Grasso get it done a little bit early. Because, now she knows the footwork of Valentina. And Valentina's not going to hit that hard and knock somebody out with the way she was getting pressed back like that. And, Grasso's getting stronger. Grasso's filling out. So Grasso just might have her number. With the way she put together this victory, she could just have her number. This ain't really like Nunes Pena in that rematch. I think Grasso has a lot more going for it now going into a fight with Valentina, the way she was able to do it here and do it there and do it here and do it there, right? It wasn't just like one type of style that she used against Valentina. No, she made sure that she was prepared in all departments, all dimensions of her approach, right? So, yeah, good fight, y'all. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Does she get an immediate rematch? I know a lot of people are coming after Grasso now that she's got the belt, but I believe immediate rematch is necessary, because she was the champion. I kind of see it playing out the same, maybe a little bit earlier, just because of how Grasso's built for this now, especially against this champion. Now, against other fighters, I'm not sure. We'll still need to see, especially based off of how she handles this rematch. But it was kind of, I don't know why I didn't really see it though. It was kind of like the Rose Namajunas situation. Like, some people didn't think Rose was going to beat Joanna. because, you know, she had a loss or two before she fought Joanna. But it's kind of the same, you know. Some people think they're a little tentative, and I kind of overlooked it in this one, like where some fighters are kind of tentative, and, you know, you think that they're, well, timid. They're a little timid, and they don't have it, but they can rise to the occasion whenever the going really gets tough. And that's what Alexa Grasso did. You know, she rose to the occasion, and she showed it. You know, she showed what she's made of. So definitely got to give her a lot of credit for this one. But yeah, let me see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about in this video? I mean, we're going to be talking about this all week, right? We're going to be talking about this all week. And I just wanted to let everybody know what I seen in each round, because some of y'all asked me, like, what did I think of this about Grasso's movement and about her ground game. So, yeah, I saw a lot of good adjustments being made. And the adjustments were, you know, the adjustments that were made, she was able to show those weaknesses in Valentina, right? And I know a lot of y'all don't think she has weaknesses, but she's got weaknesses. She's got weaknesses. And Valentina has got to go back to the drawing board just like anybody else and change up some things, okay? I'm going to say it the nicest way, but yeah, Valentina has weaknesses, and she's going to have to go back and do what everybody else does and make some changes. All right. So, yeah, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't. And we'll talk more this week, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.